Welcome you all to the May 22nd meeting of the Rotary Club of Michigan City. And what I'd like to do is start our meeting off with the values that we associate with Rotary, which is the four-way test. So if you could repeat that with me, why don't we go ahead and recite the four-way test? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Okay, have we got any guests today? Going through my list here to see who I got.
Debbie has a
Carla Neary, you're a guest, right? Would you like to introduce yourself to the rest of the club?
Hi, my name's Carla Neary, and I've worked on a couple of projects with Jim and have been associated with Debbie in the past for Strengths. And so they both have extended an invitation for me to join today to learn a little bit more about Strengths and kind of look at the Rotary today. So thanks for having me with you.
Welcome, Carla. Maybe we can get you to join up with us one day. Anyway, what I wanted to remind everybody is on May 6th, hopefully we'll have a chance to get back together, meet face to face, maybe actually bump elbows or something, and not to have to deal with the technical difficulties that we're dealing with today, okay, and be able to have some more fun at our meetings. Also, I'd like to let you know that I put now a contact us button on the homepage. If you look in the homepage of the website, you'll see a little button that says contact us. If you click on that, that'll get you the address of our P.O. box and also a way to send an email, and that email goes to the secretary, okay? And so we can send some information out that way. Quick reminder that we're looking for Rotaract students who may be attending Purdue Northwest this fall. So if you know any students that are doing that, make sure you send me their name so I can get them listed on here and we can contact them to see if they want to join our Rotaract there at Purdue. Nicole, do you have any update on scholarships?
Okay. Yeah, so we did get two applicants so far. I did reach out to La Lumiere to try to start enticing them to join, so that way their seniors can have an opportunity as well. And Jessica did an awesome job at doing a press release for us. That way maybe we could even reach out to the students that are homeschooled as well. So that way we can kind of keep growing this. I did get a lot of volunteers for the committee. Thank you so much for everybody that volunteered. So it looks like we're going in the right direction. And Blake actually helped me quite a bit with knowing how to judge and making sure everybody else knows how, so that way this is done correctly as well for those seniors. So very good.
Okay, great. Let you know too that Rick Federici had an announcement on WIMS for you too. Okay, so we got that out. Tom Keene, you want to bring us up to date a little bit on the garden?
So you have been approved for membership in this club because we believe you to be a worthy representative of the organization, interested in the ideals of Rotary, and willing to do your share and translate ideals into tangible realities. You have agreed to accept the obligations attached to your membership in the club. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Michigan City, fellow Rotarians. I am happy to present to you Rotarian Jalen Boney, our newest member. Jalen, if you could please say a few words to the club.
Yes, thank you guys for the warm welcome. I'm happy to be a part of this organization. I started a chapter at University of Southern Mississippi as an undergrad, a Rotary chapter. And so I'm just glad I get to further that involvement here in Michigan City. So thank you.
Okay, Jalen, you are very welcome. And believe me, we will find a way to put you to work in no time at all.
Hey, I'm ready to serve.
Yes. Tom Keene, can we hear you now?
I don't know, Jim, can you?
Yes, we can. You want to talk a little bit about the garden?
I sure do. Yeah, hi, everybody. I don't know whether you've all been out to the Rotary Garden at Friendship Botanical Gardens yet, but last year we got the garden kind of going again, and it is located right in front of the two major pavilions where weddings, meetings, all kinds of parties take place, as well as music venues. So it's a real prominent garden and one of the biggest in the whole area. Anyway, to make a long story short, I need some help. And if I could count on anybody to volunteer to come out to the gardens on Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 24th, or excuse me, the 28th. And we've got a few weeds to pull out and dig out some invasive other things so that we can kind of get the plants that we put in last year going. It doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes a little getting your hands dirty. So think about that. And if you could just let Jim Welborn know, or myself, either by email at taksz3291@gmail, or you can text me at 219-861-9351. I think if we had a half a dozen people out there, and by the way, we are partnering with the LaPorte Club, and they are going to be supporting us as well. So please let Jim or myself know if you're available and if you would like to participate. Sorry for the conflict with my computer here. But anyway, I look forward to hearing from you and look forward to seeing you out there next Wednesday, the 28th at 2:30, and I'll be there until 7. Okay? Thank you, Jim.
All right, thank you, Tom. All right, what I'd like to do now is present Debbie Tatum as our speaker. Debbie Tatum is the Director of Development for the Franciscan Health Foundation, which everybody should know because she's a great Rotarian. She's a philanthropic organization, which is a philanthropic organization which supports the mission programs of the Sisters of St. Francis Perpetual Adoration. She is a former Director of Stewardship and Development for the Diocese of Gary and Executive Director of the Catholic Foundation for Northwest Indiana. She holds a bachelor's degree in Computer Information Systems and a master's degree in Pastoral Studies, as well as a certificate in lay ecclesiastical ministry. Debbie is a dynamic public speaker, as well as an experienced retreat facilitator, workshop leader, and Gallup-trained strength coach. Pretty good, Debbie. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the meeting over to you, and make sure you unmute your phone and get us going here.
Okay, everybody, I am going to do the impossible, which is share my screen. Are you ready?
We are ready.
Okay. And you can let me know if it works. Or more likely, let me know if it doesn't. How are we doing?
It's working for me.
All right.
Put your thumb up if it's
Me
working,
too.
folks. There you go.
Me
Okay.
too.
Okay. We'll see if we can get the slideshow going. And I hope we're here. I hope you can see that.
We can.
Awesome. So nothing worse than opening a session with she's a dynamic speaker, because what if I'm not? What if that was a big lie? And now here we are, and I'm going to be judged. But I love Rotary and I love you guys, so go easy on me. If you feel like it's slightly less than dynamic, we can talk later. You can give me tips. So I am the Director of Development for Franciscan Health Foundation. Primarily Porter, LaPorte County, and so Franciscan Health Michigan City, and pleased to serve on the board of Rotary, and just really excited to be here today. This professional development month of April was a great idea, Jim, for including me. So let's take just a minute. This is our foundress, Lucky Maria Teresia Bonzel, and this quote that she has is really appropriate, I think. We're getting some feedback, guys. If anybody is not muted, maybe we could mute, except for me, because that would make it difficult to know what we're saying here. God has enriched you with talents and gifts, not for your own benefit, but in order that they increase and be used responsibly for the good of others. Boy, if that isn't Rotary, I don't know what is. Service above self. So we come to Rotary with this willingness and this desire to serve the community. And one of the best ways we can do that, to serve others in that stewardship function as servant leaders, is to look at what we've been imbued with, created with our natural gifts and talents, and take those and study them and really just put them out there in the world. I love this quote, the meaning of life is to find your gift. And then the purpose of life is once you've found those gifts, give them away to others. That is servant leadership. That is service above self. And again, that direct connection with what we do here in Rotary. This is what my garden may look like in a few days if we don't have any more snow. I'm hoping. This is 2020. There wasn't a lot of good in 2020, but this garden was okay. So we're here to talk about StrengthsFinder. There are a lot of different titles and book titles, but they're all published by Gallup, and they all do the same thing, have that same assessment in the back. The book itself just has different applications. It can be a faith-based version. It can be the business version. It can be the leadership version. There's actually a version for teachers. So it's really all the same if you've taken the assessment or heard about it. It's just the way they're applying it in the book. So don't worry if you've used one book or another, or you don't see the one that you used particularly for your assessment. Again, just the different applications. So we really want to begin living our strengths out loud and become who we were created to be. So I always ask this question: what are the odds, do you think, that someone else has the same top 5 as you? Any guesses? Anyone want to hazard a guess? Unmute yourself.
Same 5 gifts, did you say?
Same top 5 as you. Yeah. What are the odds? What do you think?
I'd say 1 in 100,000.
Good guess. Any other guesses? So it's a little more rare than that. There's a 1 in 275,000 chance that someone else has your same top 5. So that should give you the idea, or set you on that path of, maybe there's a unique role I play in the world. Let me take it one step further. What do you think is the chance that someone else has your same top 5 in the exact same order? Anyone want to hazard a guess on that? It's got to be a little more rare, right?
1 in a million?
All right, I like that guess. And you're only 32 million off. There's a 1 in 33 million chance that someone else has the same top 5 as you in the exact same order. So if that doesn't speak to your unique talents and gifts, and if that doesn't imbue you with a sense of, all right, I must have a really special role in this world, I don't know what else will. It's very rare that someone else is wired exactly like you. And so I want you to think about that as you go through this presentation and you go through your top 5 gifts and talents. Not everybody present today has done the assessment, I get that, but it's just a 30-minute assessment at the back of one of those books that we've seen, and it'll pop out your top 5 gifts. There are 34 gifts or themes, and that'll give you the top 5 for you. So what we're talking about is your intersection of strength and weakness, because in popular culture, especially Western culture, you are told you're not enough. Just turn on the TV or any ads on the radio, and you'll find out you need the right cream. You don't drive the right car if you just have the right lipstick. And there's probably a pill you need to make you stronger and better. What we're saying with strengths is you are exactly who you're supposed to be, and you have a unique role. And if you study your top 5, if you focus on your top 5 and quit worrying about what you're not naturally talented at, you will become exponentially even better at the things you're good at. You will be successful because of who you are, not because who you are not. So pay no mind to all the stuff you hear about what you need to be a little bit better. All you really need is what you've been given, what's in your toolkit. It's just a matter of learning how to use those wisely. I would like to explain to you what I do by using my particular top 5 gifts, because I think we learn by example, and I think a story about that might help explain some of the strengths theories to you. So I am the director of development. One of the ways I explain that is really simplified, but the role of the foundation is a lot like a drive-through Starbucks barista. What in the world could I possibly mean? Have any of you ever gone to Starbucks, or another drive-through and found out that the person ahead of you has paid for your order? Show of hands. It happened to anybody? Or have you done that for somebody? Sure. How cool is that? You're driving along, you order your coffee or your donut or whatever, and you find out that someone else has taken the time to bless you in a special way from their own pocket. That is kind of sort of what I do. I'm a nonprofit barista. The foundation makes it possible and makes the connections so that someone else can bless others in the healthcare realm, in the mission realm. So we have patient assistant funds, we have employee emergency funds, we have cancer funds, we provide all kinds of things, and we take in donations. And by the way, as the barista here, I don't get tipped. And as a nonprofit here, 100% of the gift that's given goes to the person next in line. And so I just want you to understand on a very basic level, that's kind of what I do. And then we'll jump into my top 5. So, connectedness. That's my number 1 naturally imbued gift. It's literally my job to connect people to what we do, to connect people to the mission, to find the car in the front of the line so that the people behind will be blessed. Perhaps they are unemployed, perhaps they don't have health insurance or they're underinsured. My job is to go out and talk about the mission and find organizations and individuals and civic groups who want to bless others and make the connection with what we're doing at the hospital. I get to live that every single day. It's what I love the most about my position here at Franciscan. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Empathy. That is a strength, although when I was young, I thought it was a weakness because empathy looks like this. You'll see a picture on the screen, and that left to right is Zoe Brazelton, Lori Bridegroom, Sister Petra Nielsen, and yours truly. And we are on a shopping spree. We have been gifted with gift cards to shop for what we call Center of Hope. Here's where empathy comes in. I literally have a hard time talking about Center of Hope because empathy is not just the ability to put yourself in someone's shoes, but almost the inability not to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Your top 5 strengths, whatever they are, they lead you, they guide you, they come out of you, whether you want them to or not. And so empathy, in terms of Center of Hope, we're doing this shopping trip. My job was to push the cart, guys. But you'll see Lori Bridegroom, who's the director or the coordinator for the Center of Hope. That particular program at Franciscan provides compassionate, trauma-informed care to sexual assault victims. And empathy strikes me so strongly with those survivors, those women and children and sometimes men who come through our doors. So this shopping trip, we were gifted with gift cards to go and shop and buy supplies for our survivor closet at the ER. And so I watched Lori shop, and we were able to put together care bags, and every survivor who comes through can have a brand new, real soft, fluffy blanket, toiletries, brand new combs, brand new undergarments, brand new top and pants, because often those things have to be collected and kept for law enforcement. So it's just one way that the Center of Hope goes above and beyond. Obviously, we provide quality health care for that survivor, but we also provide a way to reinstate some dignity and let them know that they are truly loved. Last week, side note, I was really privileged. Our LaPorte Catholic Communities came, and they have a prayer shawl ministry. And the ladies in the prayer shawl ministry knit and pray, or crochet and pray. And they made these beautiful shawls, and they wanted to gift it. So they saw the news article about this particular shopping spree, and that let them know about Center of Hope. They previously didn't know that was even a program that we had. They came and dropped off 60 handmade crocheted and knitted items so that we could provide something that's been deliberately imbued with love and blessed and sent out. So again, the connectedness, the empathy, you can see those things at play here. Input, that can be very interesting. Right now, my desk at work is very, very clean, guys. It's very rare, but I was told to clean it, not like I was in trouble. But we're having cleaners come in, so they can get to the nitty gritty here and find the floors and under the dust. So input is this desire to collect things. For me, it's often Post-it notes, full of information, and also these kinds of notes, and any notepads. And I have a collection of Sharpies in multiple colors because I might need that someday. I collect information with the desire to pass that on to someone else. In my work, I am collecting contacts from people. I'm collecting news articles. I collect the press releases. I collect data from the prayer shawl ministry, and I pass that along. But it can be anything. Input can look like whatever it looks like for you if that's in your top 5. Some people collect ceramic frogs. Some people collect old magazines. Can you, as a side note, tell me what it might look like if your input is out of control? Do you know what they call that? If it's a physical collection?
Hoarding.
Hoarding. Yeah, it's hoarding. I hoard Post-it notes. I'm just saying, trying to get better. But I do use this information and all these things to do my job. Individualization. Somebody, I think maybe Monique, I'm not calling you out, but I think I saw that individualization come through. That means that anybody with that really high up in their 34 strengths tends to stay away from a broad brush. I particularly don't believe that just because someone is Catholic or a woman or Franciscan or any category, I don't believe that that person believes the same way as the next person. Now, part of that is because I'm a strengths coach. Part of that is because I know how rare it is to have your top 5 in the same order. But part of that is I believe we are made up of particular gifts and talents. And so I really try to get to know somebody before I make some kind of judgment, positive or negative, about anybody. I saw Lori, back to the photo there, going through Meijer grocery, or the store, the big store. And we had 3 big carts. We had $1,000 we were able to spend. I think that somebody who didn't have individualization really high on their list might have shopped differently than Lori, but I watched her and I know that her experiences informed how she was shopping. And so she was looking for particular items. She didn't just say, oh, we're here at the sweatpants, so I'm going to buy 30 of those. She looked, she made sure, based on what she knows about survivors having come through over the years, and even soon or recently, I mean, she knew what sizes she wanted. She knew what the textures of the outfits were. She was remembering and trying to choose things because people that come through are not going to look or act or be the same. And so she was very deliberate in that individualization and projecting that out. It was a marvel for me. And finally, Maximizer. I don't know if any of you have Maximizer. We'll find out, but that is, it can be bad for me because nothing's ever perfect. And so a perfectionist is a maximizer. I remember not turning in a paper in high school because it wasn't exactly right yet. And I would rather have turned it in late than turned it in my estimation, not good enough. But it does help me be a good proofreader. Like I can proofread other people's work and go, okay, we can, and I don't like a blank page. I like to see something and take it and make it better, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I come and I look at things and I say, huh, I love that. And also, did we think about this? Now, I do have to remind my boss sometimes that I'm a maximizer because it can sound like criticism, right? Well,
Yeah.
we don't have to do it this way, guys. We've always done it this way is not okay with me. I like to start there, but I'm almost compelled to look at it and say, what can we tweak? How can we make this better? And when I'm done speaking today, I will shut everything down and I will be so relieved. And then I'll start thinking of all the times I said and like, and I could have done it better. So just FYI, nobody beats me up more than I do, but I'm proud to be a maximizer. So let me stop there. Do we have any questions before we move on? We're good? Okay.
Yes.
So can you see how knowing your strengths might inform everything you do every day, whether it's relationships that are personal or your service or what we do in Rotary? If we are looking at what we do best and we form a strong team of people who know what they do best, I believe that's how we make the biggest difference in the world, is coming together with what we do best. So anybody willing, Susie, to, whoever, to name a strength you've noticed yourself using in the past week?
Well, more than that, if I may.
Please.
I can't tell you all what an intense awakening and relief it was to know my top 5 strengths, because it made me okay with things that I had beaten myself up with for a long time. My top strength is strategic, and I had no awareness that that was my strength. And what it has done is allowed me not to push and not to pull back and to be open to other alternatives. I'm always strategizing, even in the moment, even in a meeting, to get the most out of whatever it is that's happening. Individuation is my second, which makes me curious about clients and curious about organizations that I serve. And achievers, my third, which is, I was troubled by this for a long time until a friend of mine who is into StrengthsFinder said to me, Susie, that's just because your achievements are your clients' achievements. You are so grateful when they move on or they achieve something, which is great. I loved your description of maximizer and ideation. I'm all about a new idea every 5 minutes. So those are mine and I cherish them. I will tell you that this is the result of the second time I did this. 10 years before I did this, and it wasn't the same. And when this happened, because I don't know what I did with that list, I felt even more comfortable. So there you have it.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That is something that comes up a lot. Susie, Jim, I don't know if you want to comment on your 2 different assessments.
Yes, I took it both at Queen of All Saints, and I took it with you. And the two strengths came out in both of them. They were communication and context. Communication I've used quite a bit recently, trying to communicate with everybody. And it's interesting because communication and context, which were number 2 and 3 on the first one, were numbers 1 and 2 on the second one. So it kind of makes you think I got a little bit to do with communication and context. The other one I had was activator, analytical, and woo on the second one. I kind of like woo. Not necessarily like the strength. I like the name. I think that's really cool. I have a woo name like that. And then the other three I had on the first time was positivity, arranger, and connectedness. So
when we do the assessment, if we decide over a span of years, I did it before and maybe I'll do it again. It isn't that what was number 34 for you is going to suddenly fly up to number 1. It really, I've never seen that happen. But generally speaking, things might shift a little within your top 10. Now, Gallup gives you 5. For the cost of the book, you get 5. You can go online and get the rest of them, or you can get 5 more to have your top 10 or whatever. I don't recommend doing that right now if you're new to strengths. As an input and as a coach, of course, I have done mine and I have all 34, but it's really about your top 10 that kind of inform who you are. So if you're feeling like, but I should be a woo, I should be, I didn't see activator on my top 5. The joke is it's your number 6, but it probably is that it's in your top 10, right? So you can take some time and sit with your top 5 and look at those deliberately and see how you feel about that. And then, it's entirely up to you. I don't make any money off of this, guys. It's between you and Gallup if you want the rest of them. But I really do encourage, especially new strengths people, don't worry about it, because again, we're talking about don't worry about your weaknesses. And as you get down to the bottom, that's the least concentrated of the strengths themes in your life. And so let's work with what we're sure we're leading with anyway.
And it's really, it takes like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's just a 30-minute assessment. But again, if you take it twice, you might see things change. I do remember someone who did it, and we were talking about this very topic. Is it going to change? I took it 10 years ago for work, and now, so-and-so's making me take it again. And he said, mine didn't change. And I said, what's your number 1 strength? Consistency. Yeah, so it didn't change. That makes perfect sense. Sorry, you are who you are. So let's just take it, we just have a few minutes to strengths-based leadership. That's the other book you saw on the screen. What this does is talk about leaders who allow people to be who they are. Those are the most effective leaders. The least effective leaders are those who think, I'm the leader, I can do everything well. No, you cannot. I'm here to tell you, no, you cannot. And there's a reason you have a team. Please let them live out their strengths, and you will be a better team leader and a better team because of it. So here's you. And here's your team. Why not go for all the color, texture, experience, size, thought processes, gifts, and talents that you can? You're beautiful by yourself, absolutely. But if you're trying to get something done, especially for the world, you're going to need a whole bouquet. If we are only surrounding ourselves with people who think just like us, which is really fun if you are post-COVID going to the movies and dinner, great. Because you'll never argue over what's the topping on the pizza, because they think just like you. And you won't argue over whether it's a rom-com or an action flick. Great. That's called friendship. You go do it. But if you're trying to get something really great done, think about other people. Bring them in and let them be who they are. Let them bring their gifts and talents. You don't need to be well-rounded. You don't need to know how to do everything, all the things. But you do need a well-rounded team to affect the most change. So these are the 4 domains of leadership strengths. Each of those 34 strengths themes we talked about falls into one of these 4 categories. Now, this might remind you of Myers-Briggs or some of those. Those are very high level. Strengths is a little more detailed, but now we're kind of going up higher level. So those gifts and talents are broken into executing. Those people make things happen. Influencing category, you reach a broader audience. Relationship building, they're the glue, they hold it all together. And then strategic thinking, Miss Susie.
Yeah.
Always thinking with ideation and strategic thinking. That could be, not just what we're doing, but what we could be doing. So I'm going to show you, if you will give me just a moment, I'm going to stop sharing and then I'm going to reshare. It's going to take just a minute, but I think it's worth it. And you can let me know if and when you see something on the screen.
It's there.
It looks kind of like a magic eye chart. Now, those of you who are analytical, you should be digging this right now. Be like, yeah, look at all that. Look at that information. I'm gonna move my people up out of the way. So I hope you can see 4 categories. Executing is purple, influencing is orangey, relationship building is blue, and strategic thinking is red. If you back away, and now I blacked out our last names because I did not in advance ask permission, but Debbie is me, just quick spoiler alert. So if you look at these strengths that people sent to me from our Rotary team, that's not the whole team, but it's some of us. And then you look along the bottom to those totals. You can see the executing total here at the bottom shows 8. So 8 different strengths among these people from our team add up to 8 strengths in that category. Influencing, we're doing pretty well. We've got about 12 strengths there. Relationship building, really close, 11. And then strategic thinking, 9. Guys, this is a pretty well-balanced team. Just these people. It's a pretty well-balanced team. But there are some people who don't have a lot of strengths in executing. So I bring nothing. I'm really great at relationship building. That's where 3 of my 5 strengths are. But I don't necessarily get things done. I need somebody to kick me in the pants and say, Deb, how's that going? Did you get that done? You got that? Are you ready? Yeah, but I spent a lot of time inputting. I'm getting all the information and it's not perfect yet. Yeah, okay. But we really need it now to get it done. Oh, okay. All right, I'll get it done. So you can see how I would rely on other people to fill in the gaps in my particular top 5 strengths. And again, it's not to say that if you don't have something in a particular lane here that you don't have it, you do. It's just, this is what's prevalent for you if this is in your top 5. And the point is to make sure you have some strengths in each category as a team. So if this is a work team and you need big projects to get done, you're going to want to look for people. If we're really low on executing and nothing ever gets done, we can make relationships all the while. But if we don't have somebody who goes out and gets it done, or influencing, if we don't have a woo, we got a couple of woos in here. Adam's a woo, Jim's a woo. Maximizers, making sure that it's, you know, as good as it can be before it gets out there. Communication to share it with the world. All of these categories, the more balanced they can be by bringing in other team members, the more effective your team may be. What questions do you have? I've probably blown your minds or y'all fell asleep.
Hey,
Yeah.
Debbie,
Remember to unmute
one of the
yourself.
things that I had, hey, Debbie, one of the things that I had posted on our Facebook page was a quote that said, strengths lie in differences, not in similarities. If you could kind of comment about that.
Absolutely. Again, it's, okay. You know, when you play with Legos and you're building a wall of Legos, right? And if you just build them all with the same size brick and they just go straight up in a line and it's all the same, it's a very weak structure. But if you can put in multiple sizes and you can sort of, instead of this, you're building this way, not this, but this. It's about bringing in those gifts and talents so that your particular team, whatever that team is well-rounded and has as much relationship building as executing, as strategic thinking. Again, relationship building is great. And if I'm working with a ministry group or a church group particularly, I find tons and tons of relationship building. But they can sit around and be fun and kind and loving all day. But if they don't have somebody who's analytical or ideation or get something done in those other categories, it's very self-contained. And our mission as a service club is to get out there and do something. So the more different strengths we bring together on one team, the stronger we are and the more likely we are to make a difference. Good seeing you, Nicole. Thanks. Matt.
Well, this isn't really a question. It's more of a report or a comment. Debbie, I think most of you know that I've taken on the leadership position at Trinity Episcopal Church, and Debbie did much the same presentation that she just did for us here, and our church leadership team all did the assessment, defining their strengths. And it's made a significant difference in how we view our roles and how we interact as a team to be effective. And I just, if you're involved in any other organization other than Rotary, I would highly recommend that you invite Debbie to come because I think this is her thing. She does this, and that you encourage your team to do the assessment and make it part of your leadership strategy.
Yeah, I've done this with different groups at the hospital and here at the foundation and our board. Doing it with a board of directors is great because you don't know people as well as you think you do. And it really is eye-opening, and it allows you to really assign tasks or have volunteers who are let people do what they do best. It's the best advice I can give any leader. Any other questions?
Can you post the document that you refer to for this assessment on the website so some of us can grab that?
And which document, Jim?
You know, the book or whatever it was.
Oh, sure, the book, sure. The link to the book, absolutely. It's available on Amazon, and we can post that somewhere. I think it might even.
Jim, they're already on the website.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Any complaints? How can I do better? Maximizer.
Yeah, that's
Input.
right.
You were
Let's all give
great.
Debbie a big round of applause here, folks. She
You
did
were
an excellent
great.
job. Yes.
You're a great audience. Thanks, guys. I really appreciated being here. Really, it's fun. It's my favorite thing other than my grandson to talk about.
Just a reminder that next week, Susie is going to be doing what Debbie does. Her and one of her friends are going to be talking with us about Toastmasters and how we can all become dynamic speakers, just like Debbie.
Yes.
Susie, you want to say anything about it?
It's a great opportunity to collaborate with an organization that will fulfill our mission of vocation.
Very good. Okay, I know it's already after 1 o'clock, so a lot of people have to run, so I already have. And so I'll let you guys get back to work. Remember, we're next week, Toastmasters, right here online. And Carla Neary, you can join us for that one too, if you'd like. And you'll be getting an application for Rotary in the mail, by the way. All right, folks, thanks very much. And we'll see you in a week. Thank you.
Okay.